What is up, guys and girls? It's your boy, and I'm recording this video today at the request of someone from Discord called Devil's Rejects, so big shout out to you, my man. So what I'm going to cover in this video is how you can enter the much more difficult versions of the game where there's extra content and stuff, and there's also specific like challenge modes that you can play. The challenge modes themselves I haven't really touched or done with because work and all that stuff. But as far as that goes, you have to make a new character, and I'll show you how to access the higher tier difficulties. So here you have the option to skip the tutorial if you've done it before. Right, so here, alright. So I've already said that there's an app called DeepL that you can use to translate stuff, and in some cases it works well, in some cases it doesn't, but you can just like take screenshots of the banner PDF texts and it'll translate it for you. It doesn't always work, so I just stick to using my phone camera sometimes as well, if you know, if the DeepL doesn't work so well, but usually it does an okay job of translating the stuff. As far as picking the difficulty itself, so at the top here you have like three. You have to pick the third one, the hardest one, and you need to have finished the game once on easy difficulty or whatever. So you can just do like a speed run on super easy and just, you know, finish the game with whatever path you want to, and then all these modes should be unlocked for you as well. As far as the stats, I probably recommend picking like some form of damage mitigation here in the second slot, or more damage, whichever you feel would help you better. As far as the passive traits as well, I'd probably recommend getting this one in particular, which is the bonus internal. You can still get it from killing one of the world bosses, but it's good to have at the start as like a bonus stat stick, and you can also use it if you feel like it. Anyway, all this other stuff is gonna be up to you to mess around with and find what start you find better. Some people might want more money, some people might want something else, but I highly do recommend having like better wine crafting or farming of resources in certain towns and stuff, because you're going to be doing a lot of that, and having either this bonus 30% damage or damage mitigation. Right, so since I'm not really going to play this character, I'm just going to leave it as it is and just play. Alright, so right, it automatically clicks because I was spam clicking. All this introduction stuff is the same, with starting the quest and picking what you want to do and all that stuff. It's all the same, so it won't really make a difference. For the conversation with your uncle, pick whatever you want to pick according to the build you decided to go with. Now, when you talk to this guy, everything changes because he gives you more options. So they're listed in terms of the difficulty that they have. So the first one would be difficulty 4, 5, and then the last one is also 5, but it's like nightmare mode, where like you get everything. You have all the crafting recipes, all the internal skills, all the skills, everything. Everything is at your disposal, and you get a substantial amount of money in cultivation, depending on which option you pick. So if you want to test the build and anything like that, I'd probably recommend picking the hardest one, the nightmare mode, so you can see all the skills and read the inners and see how you can make stuff interact with each other. Once you've done that and you know what you want to do, then I'd probably pick difficulty 4 to start with, because it gets really hard, and the challenge stuff from the dream world and all that stuff is insanely hard. It's not unbeatable, but it's hard, and you have to invest a lot of extra time into brewing wine, getting food to buff your stats, and all that stuff. So let's say you've done that, you know what you're gonna play, and then you go to difficulty 4. Then it'll tell you specifically down here that it's a hidden difficulty, and in this difficulty you're gonna die a lot, you're not gonna have fun, so it's not recommended for beginners. And it tells you that you'll receive an additional 1,000 gold, 1,000 silver to start the game, and 250,000 cultivation. You're also eligible to enter the Dream World, Secret Island, whatever, Dream World. It has multiple translations. So it tells you that you need to be aware of. That's all the text here. You need to be aware of this. Understand. It's not going to be fun, but it's fun if you know what you're doing. And the other two options here. One of them gives you the option to familiarize yourself with the game, which means going back, and the other one means, yeah, I'm ready to do this. There's also options to like, I think if you pick to familiarize yourself with the game, it takes you to a special island where you can I think you have like infinite money to spend and whatever, so you can check stuff out as well, but I don't know, it's a bit weird. So it's up to you what you want to do. But if you want to continue, you just click on this and then you're good to go. So the first option would register you as like, okay, you're in difficulty 4 now, and the game starts. It gets intense from the start. Like the first hour of gameplay, you're gonna breeze through it if you played it before, because you understand what to do and all that stuff. So right, I'm gonna pick that. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Right. So now that that's done and dealt with, um, I'm gonna show you on a character that is on difficulty 4. Right. So a couple of tips and well, just tips. It's not really a trick. So you just started, right? And you have a bunch of money from the thing and whatever. What you want to do to help boost your character is you can get an internal for free from the quest that you get in the starter village with the people bullying their workers in Shaolin, right? So because you have the extra money, now it gives you an additional option where you can pay off the so-called guy to stop bullying his worker, pay their debts. I don't remember what the issue was exactly. So you're gonna go to Shaolin. This should be the second thing you do after you join a school. So it'll be this guy. And when you talk to him, he's gonna have a new option. You need to pick that new option, and then he'll give you a tier 5 internal from the start of the game, or tier 6, I don't remember what it is. But I can show you the exact internal he's gonna give you if I can find it here. Um, yeah, he'll give you this one. So you get this one from the beginning, just for giving him like 300 silver or something. Um, yeah, it's a lot of money. You start with a lot of money anyway. You have like 1,000. 350 won't make a huge difference. Cool. So you got that. Now you're good. The other most important thing to keep in mind is that when you play on any difficulty above 3, you can only join 2 schools, and that's it. You cannot get rid of the token. You're stuck with this token forever. There's no way of getting rid of it. So it depends on what you pick. If you pick Fist, like what I like to play, it comes down to really like personal preference, I guess. But either way, you have to end up in Beggar as the last school, because Beggar will give you a buff to your strength, and you're just gonna hit like a truck for no good reason. You can apply that concept to other schools as well. Like, let's say if you want to go staff user or something, ending up in Beggar, you're just fine. You're gonna get like the Beggar weapon recipe, which is pretty useful for getting through the game, and you also get a staff recipe, which has the highest strength value possible for the staffs. So either way, you'll be cooking with gas. Right. Um, the most important thing is that you have to prioritize utility in some cases over damage. So I'm not using this because it's just raw damage. But when I use this weapon, even though it has like half the strength, I have the chance to dispel enemies' debuffs when I attack. And I already have plenty of strength, so I'm not lacking. So I pick a weaker weapon but with more utility. As far as my chest piece goes, this is from a faction, and I joined Penglai. um, to keep in mind that in this version you can join all the factions. All the factions are open to you, so you can join whichever faction you want. Um, it's still limited to one faction, so according to what you're building, what you're playing, you need to decide that amongst yourself. So the reason why I joined the Penglai faction as a fist user is because it gives me a unique move for fist, which is, let me find it, this one. So it will deal, like I can almost one-shot someone with like 300k health or something if I have enough crit stacks. So it'll do bonus damage according to the amount of crit stacks I have. Then plus with inner passives and all that, it's destruction. So it's amazing for a fist user. If you were like a sword user, um, I would. It mostly depends on what schools you want to join. Like I would go Moment Sect and then either um, Mount Hua Sword Sect or I'm not really sure what else would be good besides Moment and Mount Hua Sword Sect. Maybe I would join the guy in the drinking village, but to join him you need to subscribe to, you need to join a particular route, otherwise he doesn't want to recruit you. You need to join the Chengdu route and go talk to his disciple there and then side with them, and I think that's the only way he's gonna recruit you. But as a faction you can consider these guys here that are behind Ling Zhao. They will give you Wudang inners and Taoist temple inners, and you can buy their accessory, which is kind of like, it's cool if you're like YOLO playstyle, because I'm not even sure if I have it. No, I don't. But I can. You can challenge the faction and get the accessory slot one. Right. So all that stuff is gonna be up to you to try out and test. Like always, save after you made the character and you got this inner and you know what schools you want to join and stuff. Because there's a lot of things that you might, see that this could have been better and that could have been better. But back to main point. As a fist, I go to Wudang first, and then after Wudang, I went to Beggar. I also tried going Dragon Sect first and then to Beggar, but I prefer the Wudang inner more that I get from the Dream World. If only I can find it. Right, so this is the Wudang inner, and this is the Beggar. These are like ultimate inners that you can only get from the Dream World, and you can only get them while you're in that school. So like when I was in Wudang, I had to stay in Wudang until I was able to conquer Peach Blossom Island and defeat the leader of Peach Blossom Island, and only after you defeat the Peach Blossom Island guy can you enter the Dream World. So with all that, things become kind of complicated. So you've done the base game up to a point where you're happy, you're still in the same first school, so what do you do next? Well, you need to conquer Peach Blossom Island. And I think I've mentioned this before, but I'm not sure. If you want to join Peach Blossom Island as a faction, you need to get the Peach Blossom Island and then don't fight anybody on the island. Don't fight with anyone, don't start the quest with your dad, don't do anything. You just get there and you talk to the NPC that I'm going to show you now, and you join Peach Blossom, and after you join you can do whatever the fuck you want. You're free to fight whoever, beat whoever, do whatever. Because I think if you start fighting them, they don't let you join anymore. Because they look at you as like a problem. So this is how you get the Peach Blossom Island, from the boat guy. And here to join, you need to talk to this guy, to this NPC. I'm already a member of a faction, so I can't join. I've already done the quest line. So you'll talk to him and he'll let you join Peach Blossom Island. Then this guy opens a shop, and this lady will give you options to level up your professions, but you will lose fame for it because you're spending a month on Peach Blossom Island. And anytime you spend a month on Peach Blossom Island, you're losing fame. You're losing your renown level, whichever one it was, I don't remember. But yeah, that's the rule of Peach Blossom Island. Every month you spend here, you lose fame. Doing particular activities, not necessarily fighting, like when you interact with NPCs and stuff like that. Right. Another important rule. According to what sect you're in, the quest line with your dad will give you access to different internals for defeating him in the fight. If you beat him, you get access to a certain set of inners. If you lose to him, you get a different set of inners. So you need to save before you do all that nonsense and make sure that you're in the right school that fits an inner that helps you with what you're trying to do at the moment. The inner itself is going to become irrelevant later. So it's only for like momentary progression. It's not something that you need that you're gonna use in endgame. It's gonna be dog shit, guaranteed. No matter what build and whatever you're picking. So unless it like serves a super specific purpose in your build, like giving you crit stacks, like as an example, if I want to use the what are they called? From Fist. If I want to use all the dragon 18 dragon subduing palm moves, which would be this and this and this one as well, and it should be among the first, yeah, and this one, right? So there's an inner where if I'm a beggar and I go to him and I do that, I think it's the one in the middle. When I pick that inner, every time I use a move from 18 subduing dragon palm, I get stacks of crit. So with crit stacks, if I have them built up, then I can use the move that I showed you from the faction that will just demolish people. But alternatively, I can also use an accessory from the faction itself that gives me those stacks, which is this one. So I have a chance to get 3 of them per turn or something when I attack, you know, so there's different ways to get these stacks. It doesn't necessarily have to come from an inner slot. There's a bunch of new accessories from the new content that's added in this difficulty that can help you with that. Because as you can see, I have a bunch of new ones here that you might not have seen before, and they're all from this new set of content. Right. So that's clear. That's out of the way with the dad. Something you're gonna have to save and test. I can't really go through everything because it's just too much. It's too many possibilities, too many options. Um, right, so you've defeated the 7 brothers, you've done the thing with your dad, gotten the inner that you want, and I think he also gives you a pill now when you beat him in higher difficulties. I don't remember. Anyway, the permanent stat pills are very good. So every time you get them, you should eat them. No need to save them, no need to hold on to them. Also, very important, when you drink wine or eat food, they give you permanent buffs as well. So if I drink this jar of wine, it will permanently increase my mana by 7. That's what you should keep some wines, like crit wines or something, so you can always have a buff before a battle. And also with food, but with food I don't really care. I just ate all of it to buff my stats to stupid numbers. I can go even further, but I'm a little bit lazy, so it is what it is. Right. So let's say you got to this point. You get to challenge the leader of Peach Blossom Island. You beat him, you're good, and then he'll give you the option to enter the dream world. Now, you can do that at any time once you've defeated him. There's no cap or limit. The most important thing about it is that you don't leave your first school until you get the super inner from the dream world. It's important to note that if you do join Peach Blossom Island faction, he will also give you a bonus inner after you beat him. It's not that good. You get it if you want to. Up to you, you know. Right. So then you click on this option that you saw there in the previously, and you enter the dream world, the challenge world. So here, she has a shop. It's filled with stuff. I already bought all the stuff, and there's different things that you can do. Little penguin boy over here, he has a set of challenges that you can do. They're a little bit more difficult, so I'd wait a little bit to do them, but if you can do them all, you're gonna get these things, these tokens, and any fight that you do in this realm gives you these tokens. Well, it tells you if it gives tokens or not. Like for example, you're gonna see these NPCs scattered around, and you can go and talk to them. So I go and I talk to them, and it tells me this challenge level is level 1. It tells you all the rewards, what you need to, what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, what to expect more or less. So because I've already done it, I have no option to redo it. Once you've done a fight, it's done. You can't repeat the fight. Same with the challenges from the penguin. Once you've done a challenge, it's done, it's dealt with. So, an important rule, there's exchange points. So when you get to 5 tokens, you can go to the penguin and exchange it for a pill, for a stat pill. It's not worth it in my opinion because the inners give you the same stats if not more, so no point to do that. At 10 tokens, you can also get, you can select inners from a list of inners that he gives, and some of them are really good, while some of them are just good stat sticks. Like for example, the inner that I have here is from the penguin. So this inner basically helps me sustain and remove debuffs from the enemy, and it interacts really well with my other two internals. The whole point of my build I'm not really going to get into because this is just to help you like understand what's happening. So here are a bunch of the other inners that you can get. You can also get like upgraded versions of inners that you've seen before, like the inner that you get from the main storyline with Baihu people and the whole war book, the inner from the war book itself. So you can get an upgraded version of it with an additional effect and stuff, which is pretty cool. Um, and with the tokens, before I forget, when you have 20 tokens, you can go and talk to your adopted sister. Well, your not your real sister, but your stepsister, I guess. And if you have 20 tokens, she'll give you the option to choose from 3 super inners. I don't really liked any of them, so I stuck to getting the inners from the penguin, but I think I did get one from her in the end. I don't remember which. Anyway, according to your build, you need to check these things out, like save when you have 20 tokens the first time and check through everything, and then you'll figure out what works really well for you. So, as far as the super inner goes from your school, um, let's say I'm in Wudang, I got access to here. The first thing you do is you come and you talk to your uncle. He gives you the option to learn the super inner of your school. So you just talk to him, you click on it, you get the inner, you're good. To level it is insanely expensive. So, you need to take that with a grain of salt. So you need to be prepared. Um, so this one is from Wudang, this one is from Beggar, and this one's from the Penguin. And all 3 of them interact really well together. It makes my Tai Chi destruction incarnate. So that's why I picked it. So I'm not stuck because all the enemies here remove your buff stacks and all that stuff. So if they take away my Yang stacks, I can use Tai Chi. If they take away my Yin stacks, I can use the Dragon Shout. So either way, I always have an option for big damage, but you need to avoid AoEing people here because all of them can reflect damage back to you in a form or another. So if you're not gonna kill him with the crit, you're gonna die. Anyway, the dream world is very big, and it covers a really large section of bosses. Like I managed to get most of the inners without really worrying about tokens or whatever. And it's all in a straight line. Like you just follow the NPCs, and then you get all the way to the end. And the last boss is again the Peach Blossom guy, but yeah, he's been eating his Wheaties, and he can clap ass. He's just on a different level. And each fight is different. They're pretty cool, very challenging. Um, but yeah, you can keep going, and it goes all the way in the Imperial Palace to where the Emperor is. And that would be it for the Dream World. Now, the next part of the content is that you can actually go to Penglai Island. The way that you can do that is after you've defeated Peach Blossom Island, you can start a little quest line to do all that stuff. The order that I recommend it in is do as much of the main game as you can, all the quests, all that stuff, and stay in the same school. Then do Peach Blossom Island up to the fight with the boss, and then I would probably do my best to kill the world bosses. And after you've killed the world bosses, except for the turtle, because the turtle is, it's a little different, because you need to plan a little bit for it. Then you can try a few of the bosses that give pills and rewards from the Japanese Invasion Island. And you can also do the storyline of the Japanese Invasion Island because it's not that hard, and you get inner crafting mats, all kind of stuff. So yeah, The most important part is this quest line can only be started after you've defeated the Peach Blossom Island guy. So you're gonna go to this lady over here, and even if she doesn't have a rumor for you, don't worry about it, because her rumor is mostly only about the Chengdu arena. So she'll give you the rumor about the Chengdu arena. You go in Chengdu, and you have to jump to the top of the building. I'll actually show you, it's probably easier. And then you can get the quest line from there to pull the sword from the starting village. The sword that's on the beach where the monk sits and cries by the sword. Also, in this difficulty, once you reach max reputation and you feel you're kind of strong, you can go and talk to this guy, and he gives you the ability to straight challenge the final challenge. And when you do the final challenge, the reward is an inner, so you get another stat stick to add on top of everything, which is really good. As far as Penglai Island inners go, you can get all of them when you actually get to Penglai Island. So there's no need to worry that you didn't enjoy Penglai and you missed on all the cool inners that they offer, because you can get them from the island, all of them, no worries. Right, so for the Chengdu sword quest, it's just going into Chengdu, jumping on some stuff, and yeah, that'll give you the quest for the sword in the starting village. I'm pretty sure most people know about this, but I'm just covering it just in case. Right, so we're in Chengdu now. We're gonna dilly-dally all the way there. I'm probably gonna flop this on the first try because I haven't done this in ages, but it is what it is. So they're like at the top of this building. Okay. Clearly very good at the game. So you jump here. Okay, just put me down, no worries. So we're on the umbrella. We jump here. You go up here. Then you jump here. Then you double jump up this thing, double jump up this thing, and here they are. So this guy will just tell you some nonsense, but here you can do the Chengdu challenges, Chengdu arena challenges. They're not really worth doing, they give you kind of shit rewards, so I'd probably just take the quest. Like, I can even... I think I even forgot to end it in after I did it, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Right. So you can do them if you want, then you can talk to him, and it's gonna be the top options, not the actual fights. So he's gonna give you the quest to pull out the sword from the thing. I don't know if this impacts the actual quest line to get the Penglai, but I always do it just in case. I don't, cause you know, some things work weird when you interact with events in a certain order, and it might break some things, and it's best to have all your bases covered. Right. So for actual Penglai, you've done all this stuff. You've whooped ass. You're fucking feeling great. You're like fucking Rocky Balboa, just fucking smashing shit. Like, you're just out there. You're just, you know, a fucking beast. Nobody can stop you. Right, guess what? Someone's gonna shit on you, and it's gonna be great. You're gonna have a lot of fun. Now, this place is fucking complicated. Right. So there's also the old man with the inner at the top of the hill, at the top of the thing. I'll show you that first, and then we'll get to the quest line, because there's two quest lines here that are gonna happen. So for the old guy that's sitting there, you need to have, I think it was 48 snake gallbladders, and you're also gonna have to sacrifice 1,000 mana. So it's 48 snake things and 1,000 mana, but you get, you know, a really good inner. So he's gonna be chilling here. You can talk to him, and then he lets you pick from 4 inners. Now, if you're gonna be on the Dragon Sect path, let me find the inner. There's an inner that you should not pick if you're Dragon Sect path, because King Long's gonna give it to you, and that's this inner. This inner you don't pick. King Long will give it to you for free in the Dragon Sect tournament when he hosts it. Because if you're in the Dragon Sect path, he's gonna hold a tournament amongst all the dragons. And if you win, you get this inner as a prize, so you don't need to get it from the old man. I picked this one instead. It does nothing. I just picked it as a stat stick. I don't give a shit. And another thing to note is that the old man can also give you the inner that I showed you at the beginning, that you can buy from the Shaolin dude. So these two inners, like this inner, you never pick. You never pick this because the Shaolin you can buy from the Shaolin guy for 350 gold, no fucking problem. So yeah, you're gonna have to pick one of the other two inners if you're on the Dragon Path. If you are on Dragon Path, you can pick this one. I'm not sure if you can get it from Dreamworld or not. No idea, and it is what it is, right? So that's covered. Right, so now actual Penglai Island quest line. So the way that it goes is you can talk to this dude at any point in the game, right? Like let's say you just started. You can go and you talk to him and he'll start the rumor. But you can't do anything about the rumor because he thinks you're some little wet noodle. And you need to defeat the Peach Blossom Island leader before he gives a shit about who the fuck you are. It doesn't matter if you finish the game or not. So once you've done that, you come back, you talk to him, and he tells you, I heard rumors that there's a guy hiding behind the two Hell's Gate city that knows the location to Penglai Island. And you go like, okay, I'm gonna go check it out. So you got that stuff from him, and then you go, you defeat the dragon, and you defeat the old man, and then he opens the way to Penglai Island. You do Penglai Island, you beat everybody, and the most important fight will be the actual guy that let us enter into difficulty 4. He's the final boss, so to speak, of the whole thing, and he's pretty hard. So once you beat him, you come back and you talk to this dude, and he tells you, "Yo, we're in deep shit. We're getting invaded." And a new set of NPCs will spawn here in the desert, and you'll talk to the guy that first spawns here, and he'll give you the option to pick one of the inners that they offer. You can only pick one of those inners. There's no other way of getting them. So I'd save and check them all out. But really, I don't think they're gonna matter unless you're playing like something super specific around that shit. Because they're just gonna end up being stat sticks because the super inners and the dream world stuff is just over the top crazy. Right. So it'll give you the option to pick something, then you go and defeat all his friends. Once you defeat everybody, you're named the best martial artist in the world and nobody can mess with you no more. And I think you get an outfit for it as well. It's not this one, it's one of the yellow ones. I don't remember which one, but it's one of the yellow ugly ones. I don't even remember if you got an outfit. Anyway, all the fights give you stat pills, so they're pretty good to do. And you know, nothing wrong with being number 1. So yeah, that would be all the stuff in the desert. Now for the actual Penglai Island, how to get there and all that stuff. Righto. So keep in mind that these things have to be done in this order. Otherwise they're not gonna happen. So to get there, you go behind the city here, and you can go into the cave. Now, the first option the old man's gonna give you is to fight this fucking dragon thing. There's plenty of ways to cheese it. There's ways to do it. You know, depends how strong you are, what inners you're using, what build you're using, whatever, whatever. Either way, if you can't do something, you can always go hunting and grow the vegetables in the starting city to make more food for like to grow the vegetables like 50 gold for a month or something, and you get quite a few things. That's why the beginning trade matters. If you get like more yield from the starting village, then you can always go hunting there, grow the vegetables there. The only problem is you can't make wine there, but other than that, you're chilling. So yeah, then once you talk to him and you beat the dragon, he gives you the option to go there. So the first option is to go there. Boom. Now I can go to Penglai Island. I beat the dragon. I beat him. I'm solid. Right. So you just got here. Cool Penglai Island. It's literally just a tiny fucking island filled with NPCs that you can fight for accessories and inners. Like all the dudes here in the inner circle, they give you the inners, and all the dudes on the outer circles, like on the outer area, they just give you accessories, which are pretty cool. Um, So if you just got here, the most important thing is to talk to this little deer because he has three shops that you can buy stuff from. You can buy outfits, solid. You can buy skills. I've already bought them all. And you can also buy internals. You can buy every school's fourth internal from here, which is a big power boost for you. So getting here as quickly as you can be very beneficial. Right. So the biggest thing in this game mode is gonna be that you're gonna be spending a lot of money and a lot of cultivation because all the inners are very expensive to level. What you can do is you challenge this guy once you get here, and you can fight him as much as you want. He's gonna give you like I don't remember, it was like 20,000 cultivation and like 200 gold, 200 silver. Anyway, he gives a lot of money, so you can just keep whooping on his ass all you want, and you get all the money and cultivation you need without spending time. Any fight you do on this island does not take time because this place, like the story of it is that the immortal stopped time and space and all that stuff here. So these people can't leave the island. So he's the guardian of keeping all these immortals in check so they don't run over their land and whoop the shit out of everybody. And once you beat him, he will give you a really cool inner, which I used for a pretty long time until I got the one I'm using now from the penguin. And yeah, you're set, you're solid. So that's more or less all the extra stuff that's available here. It might not sound like much, but when you get to actually doing the fights and preparing your character to do these things, it's fun. Like it's hard, but it's fun. Um, Overall, I hope you guys find this helpful. Again, big shout out to Devil's Reject for reaching out to me about this stuff. So I thought I'd show you guys, and yeah, that's about it. As always, thank you guys for watching, and take care of yourself, champions. Have a good one. Peace.